Hey guys, it's Isabel. So today I have a very highly requested video for you guys, and it's not media related, as you can tell by the title. But I want to talk about the law of attraction today and just kind of how I use it. I did a video about a couple months ago about anxiety, how I deal with it, and just kind of like coping mechanisms I have. I did touch upon the law of attraction in there because I feel like a lot of times my anxiety is rooted in just being worried about the future and just worried about where I am in life and just my overall state of being. And the law of attraction, if you guys don't know, is basically based upon the idea that thoughts become things. So whatever you're thinking will be basically your reality. I wanted to write things out and kind of just have a script to go by, but I thought, what's the fun in that? So just to give you a little bit of backstory about how I started using the law of attraction, and I kind of became aware that it existed, but I didn't know it had a name. My sister and I began to notice that there was some kind of ulterior force at work when we would talk about someone or talk about something or just be really passionate about something, and it would reoccur in our lives. So we would be talking about someone, like some random person that we hadn't heard from, be like, oh, you remember so-and-so, and then we would get a text message from them or a call from them, or they would appear somehow, and we're like, whoa, like we were just talking about that, or we were just talking about them. So that's kind of how we always knew. We always thought we had like powers. I know that's kind of funny to say, but we always felt like anything we would talk about would happen. We would talk about, oh, what if this happens? And then it would end up happening. So this would happen probably whenever we were younger, when she was a teenager and I was a little bit younger. We would realize that whatever we were talking about, whoever we were talking about would appear in our lives just out of the blue, really out of the blue. We didn't even realize that it was something that you could intentionally do. We just thought it was kind of a coincidence, which in life there are no coincidences. Fast forward a few years later, probably about 3 years ago, I discovered The Secret. And The Secret is something I talk about a lot. I've talked about in a few of my videos. If you know me in my personal life, I probably have spoken to you about The Secret. I have many friends who use The Secret, believe in The Secret, and my sister and I are huge on The Secret. The Secret is basically a book about the law of attraction and how to use it in its most simplest form. So I actually watched the movie before I read the book. I watched the movie, it's on Netflix. If you guys have Netflix, go and watch it. It's also free on YouTube. I can link it down below. I watched the movie and I loved it, and it really made me shape my mentality, because to people who first watch The Secret and first read the book, they're like, this isn't real, this is fake, this is... But for me, since I already experienced it so early on in my life, when I watched it, it was like, oh my God, this is the answer. This is what I have been looking for, what my sister and I have been looking for, what we have been experiencing for so long. There's finally a word for it, and there's a name, and it's actually something that people study and people live by. It's the law of attraction. I manifested a trip to Paris with The Secret. On Instagram, I started to just see Paris reoccurring in my newsfeed, and I follow a lot of fashion bloggers, a lot of lifestyle bloggers that go to Paris a lot, and I just started seeing pictures of Paris and the Eiffel Tower and just reoccurring. I remember my sister and I wanted to take a trip by ourselves for the very first time. I mean, it's not the first time we've ever traveled. We've been traveling since we were really little, but it would be the very first time for us to take a trip together alone, just us two, by ourselves to another country. And you know, we were trying to figure out where to go. You know, she wanted to go to South America. We were just kind of throwing things out there. We wanted to take a trip before she started her new job. And I just remember seeing Paris just over and over again. And this is probably like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, why don't we go to Paris, to her? And she's like, okay. I mean, we had never been outside of the country by ourselves, us two, without adults. So it was a huge deal. So I was like, my mom's not gonna let us go. Like, my parents are gonna let... My dad was totally against it, but we don't really listen to my dad. I told my mom, you know, we want to go to Paris. And she goes, okay, go. You know, so she really... Usually my parents are really strict, and my mom's gonna be like, no, you can't go, you can't do this. She was like, okay. go right ahead. So we planned it and we left like, you know, not even a day in advance. Ever since that trip, I just believed in it so much, and I remember I was like, we have to use The Secret, like we have to. Like I remember having this book, well, not this exact book, but the book I had. I remember holding it and like reading it over and over and over again and just saying like, I'm gonna be in Paris, I'm gonna be in Paris, I'm gonna be in Paris, you know? I think that's the key to really using the law of attraction, is seeing yourself already there. And I could imagine myself getting off the plane. I could imagine myself getting my bags. I could imagine standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. I could imagine a lot of things. And that's really the key to law of attraction, is visualizing and just feeling excited about it. You can't manifest things if you're feeling bad about it. If you're feeling bad about your situation, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna imagine myself going to Paris or to Thailand, wherever, but I don't think we're gonna go. I think that's what hinders people the most when dealing with the law of attraction, is that they kind of go through the motions. And I know people are gonna say I sound crazy saying this, but the universe doesn't hear your words. The universe takes your feelings and uses your feelings to create your reality. So it's not so much about the words you're using. You can say, I'm going to Paris as many times as you want, but if you don't actually believe it or actually feel the happiness that it is to be in Paris and to experience it, then you're never going to manifest it. So if you're trying to manifest something, be it a relationship, a trip, a job, a house, a car, anything, even a cup of coffee, you cannot have negative feelings or feelings of lack in your life. So if you feel, we're not gonna go to Paris, we're not gonna go to Paris, nope. You pack your bags, even if you don't have your ticket bought yet, even if you don't have your hotel booked yet, pack your bags, feel the feelings of actually going there. I mean, a lot of people ask me, how do you travel so much? And I will say the law of attraction has played a significant factor, whether you want to believe it or not. I believe it. I've seen it. Has played a super significant factor in me traveling. In my anxiety video, I did talk about this. These last couple of months, I guess the months leading up to summer, I was feeling very down on myself. I was feeling very negative. And I was like, I don't even want to read this junk. It's not working. I don't believe it in anymore. And I tell you guys, as soon as I adopted that mindset, it's like everything just started going wrong at once. Everything just kind of like a snowball effect. Just everything. I don't want to say came crashing down, because it wasn't that dramatic, but a lot of things just went wrong. And that's when I realized, you know, why am I feeling so crappy? Why am I feeling so out of control with my life? I don't feel in control anymore. I don't feel connection anymore spiritually. I don't feel like, you know, God listens to me. I wasn't using the law of attraction in the way I should have. I was trying to force things when I myself wasn't feeling well. In order for anything to be manifested in your life, you have to feel happy. You have to feel good. If that means that you have to meditate every morning, that means you have to go work out so that you get those endorphins released and you get some serotonin. Gratitude. This is my gratitude journal, you guys. I talked about it in my last video. Whenever I feel so crappy, I just go and write down all the things that I am grateful for. That really helps shape my mentality from lack to gratitude, which gratitude is probably the major key of the entire law of attraction. If you're not grateful for what you already have, you are not going to manifest anything. Happiness stems from gratitude. When you're happy, when you're grateful about something, you're gonna be happy about it, and you're gonna be happy about your life. I mean, there's a lot of negative Nancys out there, and this is for you negative Nancys. You have something to be grateful for. I don't care where you live, I don't care where you are in life, I don't care what your situation is, you have something to be grateful for. And if you're watching this on a laptop, computer, a smartphone, you already have way more than the average person does in the world. And if you're not grateful for at least that, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have to be grateful for everything. Just because you're not living a life like everyone else is living, or a life that you think everyone else is living, does not mean that you don't have a good life. So you have something to be grateful for. Even if you feel totally down about yourself, about your life, just sit down quietly by yourself, cup of coffee, cup of tea, and just get a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a notebook, and write down everything you're happy for every single day, every morning, every night. Write down what you are happy about. It can be the smallest thing. It could be the fact that your coworker gave you some chocolate earlier, or that you were able to go to that new restaurant that you've been wanting to go to. Any little thing positive about your life, write it down on a gratitude list every single day, and you'll see how your life will begin to change. Another book that I really love, and I have my ticket for Madrid in there. Another book I really love is The Power. It's basically I guess one of the sequels to The Secret, and it is by the same author, Rhonda Byrne. I love it too. It really talks about the power of love, which is something that I have come to terms with myself. I've always been the kind of person who doesn't like to show affection, and it's not that I'm not affectionate, it's just I've always been kind of more reserved with my affection. So I haven't been the person who's like, oh my god, I love you, you know, to everyone. But I do like to spread love to you guys, especially you guys, my viewers, my subscribers. You guys mean so much to me. And this book has really helped me. For me to accept love as something that I need to use as a power has been kind of difficult for me, I guess, because I guess in society we're kind of taught to be a little bit more stone cold and not have feelings and not show emotions. And so this book really helped me to come to terms that we need to harness the power of love, not as something weak, but as something very strong, and that can make us strong and really make our lives better. If you're a person who you feel like you've been hardened over the years because of certain things or certain people, this book will really help open up your heart. If you're feeling like you can't give out love or you don't want to be loving, this book really changes your perspective on that. And I had issues, trust me guys, I had issues even getting through the first chapter in this book, because I was like, I can't. Love to me is not something I want to feel. Not, you know, I don't want to sound like an evil person or anything. I think a lot of people could understand when I say that I didn't want to feel like loving. You know, when you've been through heartbreak, things that make you feel angry or upset and you feel kind of hopeless, you don't really turn to love, you kind of turn to anger, kind of putting a barrier and a wall between you and the world. And that's kind of what I had up. I had a barrier, a wall. It was hard for me at first, but I read this book and it really changed me. And I hope that you guys will find the same results with it as well. I think whenever the law of attraction works best is that when you're really clear about what you want in life. And I don't want to show you guys this paper. It's kind of personal, not that personal, but they're just like personal life goals that I really want to accomplish. Wrote them down and I was super clear and super specific about them so that they will manifest. A huge part of the law of attraction, I would say, is not feeling that you're lacking anything. If you want to be in a relationship with a good person, you can't feel the lack. You can't feel like, oh, I'm so single, this and that. You can't feel that way. You have to feel as though you already have that. And the way you feel like you already have it is by acting like you already have it. Being synchronized, being in that same wavelength as what you're trying to manifest will help you manifest it. We can't predict life, but we can try our best to adjust our own lives and our own attitudes to fit what we want and the outcomes that we want to have in life. So that's why it's really important to be very specific about what you want in life, because when you're super specific about something, it won't feel cloudy. It will feel like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to have. The universe is going to help you get there. Even if you don't get the outcomes that you want in life, they are usually setting you up for something better or something better suited for you. And always imagine, visualize, visualize, visualize. That's another major thing. I love to do guided visualizations. There are a ton of them on YouTube. I think I'll link a few down below that I really love. You know, I like to do them at night, especially because my mind is more quiet at night. It could be different for you. You can do it early in the morning. I just like to do it at night. I feel like I'm more cozy and the darkness really makes me in tune with something. I don't know. You listen to these, you meditate, you imagine yourself in certain scenarios, and you feel the happiness of being there, and you feel just how you would feel. And that is really important, is getting your feelings and your emotions in tune with how you know you will feel in that situation. So if you want to win an Oscar one day, by all means, get a shampoo bottle or a candle like this and imagine yourself holding the Oscar in your hand. As crazy as you might feel doing this, go in front of a mirror and just see how you would feel. Even say out your Oscar acceptance speech. Even say it, I'd like to thank the Academy. Whatever you have to do to feel how you would feel, in that situation you want to manifest, do it. Visualize. Visualize from a third person point of view. So how a person would see you on the outside if you were in that situation, and also visualize from your own point of view, so from the first person point of view. Listen to music. Listen to classical music. Music is the best way to raise your vibration and to get in the vibration of what you're trying to attract and what you're trying to manifest. So if you're trying to manifest a trip to Paris like I did, listen to French music. I listen to a lot of French music. I love Edith Piaf, even though she's more older. French music. Do whatever you have to do to feel like you're in the mood for what you're trying to manifest. If you are trying to manifest a job, dress the way you would dress to that job. Act the way you would act if you had that job. And you need to make sure that you take away all these mental blocks in your head, all these negative mindsets that you have had instilled in you since you were young. Whatever it is, get it out of your head. Open up your head, open up your mind, open up your heart, and you'll see law of attraction is real. I hope you guys enjoyed this super rambly video. I hope that it was coherent enough for you guys to follow through. And also do your research. Do whatever you have to do. Don't just listen to my video. Go watch other videos on the law of attraction and you'll see how powerful it truly is. So to those of you who want to see more videos on the law of attraction or the secret or whatever you'd like, please give this video a thumbs up so I know that these are the kind of videos you want to see. I also will have some workout videos coming out later on in this week, so guys, make sure to subscribe so that you will be up to date for when I upload next. I love you guys so very much, and always remember that no matter how you may look on the outside, no matter how much money you have, how great your life is, true beauty always comes from within. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.